Alright, we should be live. Hello, firesplitter.
Hello, it's firesplitter here, and today we're gonna play some WarioWare Get It Together. The category we're gonna play is any percent, and in any percent we are gonna have to play from a fresh save file, which means that we have a special little profile made for this run, which is a run alt profile I have for the speed runs of categories, which requires me to play from a clean save file. It's actually impossible to clear the save data from this game from inside the game, so you have to go to the settings every single time you do it. So what separates this category mainly from the other categories, the New Game Plus categories, is that we are gonna have to watch all of the cutscenes, which is probably not a problem from an entertainment perspective, but it makes the run significantly longer. I increase the volume on my end because I can't focus.
It's all done?
Go.
All our hard work.
Yo, hurry up and show us.
So yeah, here comes a little introduction to the story. They have made a new game which they are gonna release, and they are having some trouble.
Just curious, was that timer start very early, or are we not?
No, we're not where the timer starts yet. The timer is gonna start when we
Just
enter
making
the
sure.
first course. But this is a mandatory cutscene at the start of the game, the first time we open up a new save file. I gotta tell you when the timer is gonna start. Gonna watch some more cutscenes here. And I gotta do a countdown too, because soon we are gonna reach the point where the timer starts. The timer is gonna start when we enter this course. So the timer we gotta start the run in 3, 2, 1, start. So I'm gonna use a matching technique here. Try to match the text as quickly as possible. Which is why I use the Joy-Con to run this run, because it's slightly faster actually to match on Joy-Con, I have found. It's not a super strict matching window, but it's really good to be sort of fast with matching here. So now we're gonna get Wario's demo course. Each of the characters we're gonna unlock are gonna have this demo course. Well, not this demo course, but a demo course where we are getting to see some highlights of what the characters can do. There we go, and we see some of the story here. The story here is basically that Wario's game has been attacked by nasty game bugs, which causes all sort of glitchiness to happen. So the goal of this game is basically that Wario's gonna go around and try to get rid of all of the nasty game bugs. This game is a little different from many other WarioWare games in that this game is not really having you have the same each control scheme for each game, but you have different control schemes depending on which character you have. We're gonna have plenty of characters in this game, and that is affecting how we play each course. Sometimes it's very minor, and with most of the characters we are gonna play, it's gonna be pretty minor stuff. But some characters changes a lot in how to handle things.
Hypnotize.
So I think it's time to talk about one of the most important aspects of this game from a speedrunning perspective, and that is the frame rules. There are on the courses with the long views, there are more often than not 3 times you can leave the course at. There are some exceptions, but those are far between each other. Beautiful. The first point happens about halfway through, the second point happens 3/4 through, and the final one happens when the timer is gone entirely. What we want to happen in this run, and where a lot of time is lost in this game, is we want to make sure that we leave the microgames as quickly as possible, which means halfway through on the long fuse courses. That is not always the case, as we saw before.
I'm ready.
The hypnotized micro game, it is technically possible to get it done halfway through, but it's very, very difficult with Wario, and I have never succeeded to pull it off with Wario, and I'm not sure if anyone has. People have been close to pull it off with Wario, but it's really, really difficult. And in this category, the new game category, we have to play with Wario that course, because the first level is entirely scripted which microgames we get at each speed level. Not the order, but the microgames we get are scripted. So Wario will always get that microgame. And then the one we saw before with Dr. Wario when we were getting the direction of the thing correctly. That one is a scripted long one. Those are mostly quizzes though. But later on when it's not scripted which microgames we get, we really want to avoid getting those. It is one of the biggest sources of RNG in this run, which microgames we get. If you avoid getting forced long microgames, we can save like several. We can like each time you don't get a forced long microgame, it seriously saves like 4 seconds. Because each one of those loses like 4 seconds. It's huge how much time it gains and loses. We gotta play it a little safer here than normal, as we are doing a marathon run. This course is normally we play this very, very risky and very, very fast because it doesn't really matter if we die this early in the run. Beautiful, we're having good RNG here. So we're not gonna do anything until we know for certain we can do it without dying. But we need to avoid here is getting hit by the meteors or crash to the boss when it has spikes. So there we go, that was the first split. That was the first run? Or not the first run, the first level. Can I watch some more cutscenes? Normally we're having 15 courses, but the demo course only has 10. There are some exceptions to this rule as well. This game has a lot of exceptions to everything. We will see that later on, a lot more. So now we're gonna get through some menuing here. Or menuing, matching buttons and not accidentally go into the course again. I should probably talk quite a bit about characters we have gotten so far, because these are the characters we are gonna see for the most of the run. We are always gonna pick Wario, Young Cricket, and 18 Volt. Well, not always, but most of the time we're gonna pick those. The reason for that is because they are the fastest characters to pick. And there are very, very few cases where we are losing frame rules because we have one of those characters. Because most first frame rules are possible to get with those 3 characters, so it's like no reason to change them. But now we can only pick 3, but later on we can be able to pick 4 characters. So Young Cricket, we're gonna see a lot here is... As you've seen, he can jump, that's what he can do. He runs really, really fast though, so he's very, very good at some courses. Especially the final, like, I'm not gonna spoil too much, but he's very, very good to get on the final boss stage. That is a really, really huge RNG check that you need to pass at the end to get him, which is like 1 in 5. I don't think you need to get him to get like the record or something, but it's really, really useful. So yeah, this is probably my favorite cutscene in this game, because I really, really like Mona's house. I've like always wanted like a room like that with like a little room in it for like the bedroom. But it's like such a lovely design, and it's like so practical as well, because it's like way easier to regulate the temperature in a small area than a big area. And I really, really prefer to... Yeah. So here we go.
Squeeze.
So Mona, as we saw before, she has a boomerang. If she doesn't use her boomerang, she has to move. It's one of the... On slower speeds, she's one of the better characters, but on higher speeds, she becomes annoying.
With style. Watch out.
So we're gonna do a thing here where I take an intentional death. We're gonna see that quite a lot on these long fuse courses. The reason why we do that is, in the case of that, it's not impossible to get that first frame rule with that character, But it's very, very easy to miss it. And if we miss the first frame rule and head to the second frame rule, that's like instantly 2 seconds lost. We take a step there to be able to skip the frame, like get the first frame rule guaranteed. We're gonna see quite a lot of that on the next course. Because the next course has a lot of courses where there are a lot of frame rules we have to die to get.
Plug it.
That was not on purpose.
Off balance. Why not?
Knock it off.
So on this course there is one level we don't want to see. Well, there are 2 technically speaking, but
Rock.
it's one of the ones we don't want to see because it's a hard first frame rule to get, so we got the second frame rule.
On.
The one we really don't want to see is another one which I hope we don't see. Let's see if it's this one.
Watch out.
Yeah, this one, because this is a forced long frame rule. As you can see, we can't die in any way and we can't win until the thief has gone down, so there's no way for us to skip a frame rule there.
Unplug.
Those are like the kind of course we want to miss, and sadly we missed a frame rule there too. Because we were a little slow with the duck. It's a little rough to get that frame rule with Wario at times, because you think you get it, but like it's actually way more strict than it looks like, because you have to watch the animation, victory animation on that one. Some levels are like that they have a really long victory animation, which makes the frame rules very, very deceptively difficult to get. Okay, time for the boss course. We're gonna match the package. This is another boss course that's really easy to lose at, so I'm gonna take it a little safe here. And there we go.
Looking good.
That is probably like one of the most fun boss fights in my opinion. And it's also one of the boss fights we have the most... time on, I should say. We have the most like time to save on that one. It's one of the 2 we have the most time to save on, from like on a regular to a perfect run. And there's a lot of things you can do on that one. This next course is where I talked about before. This is where we're gonna see a lot of purpose, a lot of steps on purpose to save frame rules. I should add this, even if you're down to 1 health, it's not a danger for this category. Because in this game, getting a game over when you're doing a new game playthrough, you had the opportunity to like pay 100 coins to be able to continue. You had to redo the course you lost at though, the final one you lost at. That is just so you can't skip the boss course, I think. Yeah, this game is really generous like that. It's very difficult to get stuck in a position where we lose like 5 minutes plus because we are getting a game over. Which makes this a really marathon safe category, because worst case scenario you lose like 30 seconds by getting a game over. Which is not that bad. There are boss courses that alone cost more time to lose at. And that's something we have to take into account, because some of the boss courses are... If you try to go really fast, they are really difficult to lose at. The last one is a good example of that. I did play it a little safer than normal. But I didn't play it like overly safe.
Spin it.
So we're gonna spin this one. So this character can fly around and shoot bullets. But he can only shoot to the right, and his partner can shoot to the left. But we can only play as their partner. Okay, we're gonna have to hope here's a coin flip. There we go. First frame rule. We can't get the first frame rule there if we don't do that, and because of what I said before, if we want to take an intentional death here, it should be to save 2 frame rules. Because there are a lot of courses that we want to lose on purpose. So we don't take purpose losses here just because we want to save 1 frame rule, because that's scary. Especially in a marathon setting.
Water.
There we go, lovely. But yeah, it's basically 50-50 if we get the wrong one there. If we get the right one, we are gonna win the macro game. And that loses like 4 seconds. So I'm really happy we didn't do that.
Dodge.
Here we go, that's what we need to lose.
Trap. How many?
And this one we need to lose. This one we lose by popping all of the hearts. Otherwise it's a normal quiz. But if we pop all of the items, we cannot actually win, because there is no correct answer, and then the game is actually recognizing that it's a lose state. Which is quite generous.
Stick together.
There we go, beautiful, get that first frame rule. So now we're coming up to, I think, one of the hardest boss fights in the game. To do perfectly from a speedrunning perspective. We're gonna go for a little trick here. We are basically gonna try to save a little turtle. I think it's supposed to be a turtle.
Protect.
A turtle or a kappa.
Same thing.
Yeah. So here we go. We're gonna get up the key, and we got the trick. There we go. Lovely. That is a pretty rough trick to get. We are basically trying to carry up the turtle and the key at the same time. It saves 7-8 seconds to do that. Like, it saves a ridiculous amount of time to do that trick. But it's very hard to perform, and it's something I had to practice quite a lot to get it somewhat consistent. But it's a really big time save to go for it, and even if you don't get it, I still think it saves time if you don't get it perfectly, just going for it. Normally what you do is that you are putting up the key first, and then you go down and grab a turtle, which loses a lot of time because you have to go down and carry it twice. So now we're entering Dr. Kryger's course. Dr. Kryger is, as you can see, flying. And his head is the thing that damages stuff, so we want to hit stuff with his head. We gotta see a little bit of that in the demo course. But Kryger is a little scary of a character because the demo course is a little scary because it's a little inconsistent sometimes how the headbutt is working on stuff. So there we go, lovely. He didn't get the perfect one. Oop, beautiful. That button press can be scary if we don't do it exactly like that. Sometimes you can get it with a faster button press, but it's like really inconsistent. There we go, beautiful.
Let's begin.
This course has a lot of forced long frame rule, a lot of forced second frame rule micro games they want to avoid. And it has some hard to get frame rules as well. This is the first oh my. This is the first stage in the run where there's actually some heavy RNG going on, and there's heavy RNG separating how good the run is gonna be. From this point onwards, like, each play is gonna have a lot of RNG to it for deciding how well it goes.
Not again.
Up until this point, this game is like pretty like reasonable on the RNG, but from this point onwards, like, this game is getting very unreasonable with the RNG.
Let's begin.
Because there are so many forced long market games.
Steer clear.
The worst ones from RNG perspective are, well, I gotta talk about when we get there. This one is we want to lose it because we are getting first frame rule if we lose, otherwise we get a
Escape.
longer frame rule, and here we go. Boop, beautiful. It's looking really good so far. It's one micro we don't want to get in the first set of micro games. I should talk a little bit about that. You know when we get like speed up? Then they changed which microgames we can get. We can only get starter microgames on the first speed, and some microgames on the second speed, and some microgames on the first speed. And there we go, lovely. We didn't get the bad one. There is a bad microgame we can get here that's a forced long one, and that's one we really don't want to see. Because the fact that we didn't get that saves basically 4 seconds. Beautiful. This one is it's not a 4 second. We can actually get first frame rule with some characters. I think you get with Ashley and 18 volt, but we don't pick 18 volt here because 18 volt here is... It's so slow to pick 18 volt, but there are some cores here which 18 volts really can't get first frame rules on, no matter what we do. Technically speaking, from a best possible time perspective, it saves time to pick 18 volts, and beautiful. Actually doing really well so far. This place is treating us really well so far. Okay, this is not what we want. This is a 4 second one. But really good RNG so far. This can go way worse than it has so far.
Dodge. Clear a path.
Going really well, not gonna lie.
Watch out.
This one is not good, it's a forced long. It looks like we can lose by touching the lasers, but we can't. But it's really good still. If this was a run where I have been playing for speed for the entire thing, that would be pretty much
Grab.
what we want to see if we want a PB in this category.
Assemble.
So now we're gonna fly around and grab some sushi pieces. I'm gonna make some interesting sushi here. Beautiful. Beautiful. So now we're gonna go to what I think is the worst course of the game. And that is 9 volts course. And it's the worst course because you get to play as 9 volt. I'm not kidding. 9 volt is by far the worst character in this game. We'll see why. 9 volt always has to move forward. Until it crashes into a wall, at which point it turns around. Actually, like every single course in this game is made specifically to be 9 volt proof. That's like how bad the character is, really. Like levels have to be designed to make them winnable for this character. Like they had to go out of the way to make it playable. I make this look way easier than it is actually. That is like the hardest demo course. It's very easy to mess that one up because you have to do really precise timing.
Okay. Let's go.
So yeah, this is the Nintendo Classics. Everyone who has ever played WarioWare knows what's coming up now. Like this is, like from a casual perspective, this is like the best course. But from a speedrunning perspective, this is except for the extreme RNG splits, this is probably my least favorite split of the run because a lot of runs die here because yeah, 9 volt is rough to play as.
So sweet.
And the boss course here is really not nice to 9 volt.
Quiet. She's coming.
And let's start.
If we have a moment, I can talk about a quick open incentive.
Of course.
I just wanted to remind folks that we still have that bid war up for the Hello Kitty Roller Rescue run for the clothing choice that Linkermeister will be wearing for his in-game character, and that is Denim versus Swimsuit. Denim is currently winning with $30, and Swimsuit only trailing by $20 with a total of $10. So, well, we can turn that bid war pretty easily. So if you want to do that, you can go to donate.midwestspeedfest.com.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about how courses are 9-proof, or 9-volt proof. As you can see, on this course here, for example, there are like two things there. Those are there so that 9-volt goes between those. Every single course has that. If you start to look for it, you're gonna notice that every single course has some, like look at that bump on the bridge, for example. That one is there to make the course 9-volt proof.
Strike.
Like almost every single course has something to make it playable for 9-volt, because 9-volt is really not a good character. As he had to travel back and forward. Let's see how we can get. There we go, first frame move. That one is quite amazing.
Create shape.
Gonna win this one.
Guide.
Come on, Tempest. That was not good. We lost a frame. We lost 2 frame moves there. I was trying to go for a strat that saves more frame moves, but I failed it.
Which is greater?
Okay, so here it's gonna be something nasty. We can get Fire Emblem here. That's a long micro game. I call it Fire. I am putting very much emphasis on that one. Because a really short micro game we play, and it's really long, but we didn't get it, thankfully. We had like perfect RNG on this course. That almost never happens, by the way. If we were playing right now, we would probably be golding split if we are doing this course perfectly.
Clear course.
Because like a 1 in... That RNG is like a 1 in 32, and oh, come on, we didn't do that perfectly, but we did good enough. That trick there is really hard to perform. If we fail that trick there, we are losing... We're losing like 5-6 seconds, and there we go, lovely. I don't want to know what pace I am on right now, because this is really good. These 2 splits are 2 of the scary early game splits, and they went perfectly. But now we're gonna come into the first super RNG split.
That was epic.
Beautiful. And that is Remix 1. Well, it's called Remix, but it's Remix 1 because there's gonna be another Remix later on. And it's pretty much exactly what you expect to be. It's basically a mix of every single micro game we've seen so far. Or seen so far, like in the course we've seen so far. Which means that we can either get extremely good RNG here and not get a single frame loss, or we can get a lot of forced third frame moves. So this is a really RNG heavy split. How this split goes is very little up to us, and very much up to how the game wants the split to go. Because the boss course here is really easy. Because we get to play as Mike, who is one of the by far best characters in the game. There are like some characters who are really good. Generally speaking, characters who can fly and who can shoot are good. Like, if a character does those 2 things, it's a good character. As you can see, can fly and shoot. Because it's very hard for those characters to mess up stuff. The worst characters are characters who have gimmicks that makes them rough to move, like 9-volt, and another couple of characters we'll see later.
Deliver.
18-volt kind of falls into that category as well, but 18-volt really only becomes a problem on higher difficulty levels once we're getting further in than we do in the story. Then 18-volt can start becoming a problem, but in the story mode, 18-volt is rarely a problem. But 9-volt is pretty much always a problem, so we are never ever picking 9-volt if we can avoid it, for any category. sadly a 4-second frame rule. That's not good, but it's not the end of the world.
On.
This one can go way worse than it has so far.
How many?
Gonna take a lot scare again, as we said before. By popping off the hearts, we are basically skipping the quiz part here because the game is like not wanting to. And first frame rule good. I should have done that last time.
Watch out.
I was trying to go for another trick there, but well, it happens. Beautiful. That's not good though. That's the slow marker game. We did it well. And beautiful.
Stay alive.
Beautiful.
Remove.
Beautiful, beautiful. And on this course, we're actually gonna go a little beyond 15. There we go, lovely.
Watch out.
Okay, it's not good. This was decent. This can be way worse than it was, but it can be better. This could have both been better and worse, so I'm gonna say that this was a pretty decent
Clear course.
remix for a marathon run. So here's another Mario course. This time we have a castle course. There is a part here we can't actually not outrun, so at the start of this course it doesn't really matter how fast we go, because we can't outrun that one with this character. With Wario, Young Cricket, and Master Mantis, and I think it's a character we're not gonna see in this category. And a character we can see later. Yimity, who everyone who has played WarioWare know about. Those can make it to the first set there and save significant time. Because they move really fast. And that game that makes it so they can move even faster. Wario, for example, can just do his dash attack and move really faster courses. So now we're gonna enter Cat and Anna's level, and this is... When I do PB attempts, because I do PB attempts in Japanese, this is one of the worst levels. Because at the end of this, there's gonna be a quiz, and I do actually have a document where I have the 2 first signs of every single question with a translation to which question that is. Which means that it's plausible to perform it. Otherwise, it's like really not plausible to run this category in Japanese for people who don't know Japanese. But with that, with those little resources, it's possible. When I made, basically, there was a Japanese run who posted the questions for like all of the quizzes in the game. It was really nice of them. Then I was like, I cannot plausibly read this in a run, so I like removed everything except for the first 2 signs, because that's all you really need to know. Because after the first 2 signs, every single question has, like if you only have the first 2 signs, every single question is unique, and for every question except for 2, they have a unique first letter. There are only 2 questions which have the same first letter. Or first sign, I should say, not letter. Sign. But still, this course is gonna require a little bit of focus boss level. And I am gonna use some stuff to make it even more consistent for marathon's sake.
Shoo.
There we go, lovely. So this is the nature-themed course. We can see a lot of animal stuff here. So this is the other character who was really bad, Cat and Anna. Lots of 2 frame rules there, huh? Cat and Anna has to jump all the time. It's not as bad as 9 volt, but it's pretty up there.
Make them fly. Ninja speed.
this is bad. Getting some really bad RNG here, which character we get where? We're losing frame rules. Losing frame rules in this game is like super expensive. As I said before, it loses like about 2.25 per frame rule you lose, something like that. So it's very, very expensive to lose frame rules in this game.
Look closely.
And here's a long walk game, sadly.
Who's not there?
There were no pink winner, I think.
Prepare for speed.
Feed.
We go get a feed.
Leave it to me. Dodge.
So yeah, some markets looks like we can lose them to get rid of them quicker, but the thing is that only really works for markets with long fuse. So any market which has short fuse, there is literally nothing we can do there to save or lose time. That's like auto-scroller. And now we are going to the quiz. This is a lovely wonderful if our host wants to plug something in to do so.
Oh, I will. Unfortunately, we don't have any additional donations at the moment, but you'll fix that. Did you know you can go to donate.midwestspeedfest.com and keep raising that tracker? Currently, we're sitting at $1,826 for Save the Music Foundation, so I think we can raise that a little bit more. But I still got a little bit of the time. You still want to remind folks we have a bid war for the next run. It's going to be the clothing choice for the character that Linkermeister will be playing in Hello Kitty Roller Rescue. So if you want to get that in for that as well, we're currently sitting at $30 for denim and $10 for swimsuit. And we also have a bid war for the Super Monkey Ball Deluxe run. It will be the SMB2 Monkey choice, and me may currently lead with that for $20, but that's all, you know, very easy to check. So go donate, keep raising money for the Save the Music. We still got more time?
Okay, nice. If you want to. There's gonna be cutscenes. There's gonna be cutscenes now, so if there's anything else you want to plug, just feel free to do it, because we can see a lot of cutscenes.
Alright, I do want to let folks know that if you're wondering where your money goes, Save the Music, they partner with public school districts and community across the United States to make sure that they can jumpstart or enhance their music education programs. So if you like, you know, young talent being helped, you know, with their music education, all of it, and, you know, creating new musical talent, then that is an amazing charity right there. So I think your money is well deserved in their hands. So keep on donating.
Okay, so now we can enter the sports course, and this is another split that is a little scary. Mostly because of the boss fight.
Good grief.
So here we have Jimmy T being introduced. A lot of people's favorite WarioWare character, I know that. I know a lot of people really like this character. It's like one of the classic WarioWare characters, which a lot of people think about when they think about WarioWare. And I tried to push the button. Perfect, we did it. It wasn't fast, but it was safe. That button press can be scary, because sometimes the character just refuses to press the button. I'm not sure why that happens, but it just happens sometimes. There are some things that works like that. The headbutt from Dr. Kryger does sometimes do that. Mona's boomerang is notorious for doing that, especially when she should press the button in her demo course. I don't know how many runs have died to failing to press the button like 2-3 times and losing 10 seconds plus to that. Which, yes, at the point of where the run is right now, that is pretty much a thing you reset to if you are looking for a record C run. And of course, Jimmy T stashes. I'm not sure why they are so inconsistent, but yeah, here we go. Gonna do some exercising here. And Jimmy T brings the energy to the gym. So here we go.
Inflate.
So as you probably can guess, this is gonna be sports themed, all of this.
In the basket.
I think that initially Yimmy T was more of a remix character, if I remember correctly. Like he had character remix courses, if I remember correctly, in the earlier WarioWare games. But later on they made him more of a sports, like the person who had care of sports mic games.
Clear the way.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Keep it up.
And this one we're gonna lose because this one is really, really slow to win. We lose once more 4.5 seconds by winning that one. We are having really good luck so far, by the way. I should like stress that enough that this run has been pretty lucky so far. It hasn't had perfect luck, but it has been very, very lucky for being just a normal run. Normally we reset to get kind of luck we have seen so far.
Bullseye.
Although being a marathon run and we are playing a little safer than normal, we are not making the best use of that. But marathon safety above all else, we don't want to see a run that goes far, far, far over time just because I want to play a little risky. A spear. So the best course here is like one of the scariest ones in the run. I would say this is probably the absolutely worst one, and it's only bad because of new strats. Oh come on, get up there, ball. Ugh, that's not good. We lost 2 frame moves there. Normally we lose 1 frame move. I was trying to go for a way to not lose many frame moves. But here is the boss course. This boss course we gotta climb up, and before some new strats was found, I started to explore with some new strats. This course was actually not that bad. But with the new strats, this has become one of the worst course of the run. So we are doing a very specific path here because we gotta try to skip stuff. Oh no! We failed. Yeah, that's what happens when we do that. That's gonna happen very, very often here. This is one of the choke points of the run, where a lot of runs are just dying. Because this course is nasty. It's not going well. So what we are doing there is basically we should be able to do that at the end, because otherwise we have to actually climb a lot. But by doing that we are basically being close to the wall, which means that we can avoid climbing up and stuff. But that was nasty. That was nasty, but not too nasty. But yeah, as I said, that is the scariest course of the run. It's very, very, very easy to lose runs to that boss fight. Because it's extremely precise what you need to do. And if you do anything wrong, you have to adjust. And now comes to my favorite character's course, and that's Ashley. Ashley is like my personal favorite WarioWare character. I really, really, really like her personality. It reminds me of myself when I was a teen, really, really much. Like there's like a soft spot in my heart for her because of that. Because it reminds me of myself so much when I was younger. That key grab there is actually really rough to get. Because you have to get it at a really precise angle, otherwise it's gonna crash into the wall. And that's probably the worst part of any boss course, like worst individual part. Not because you won't get it most of the time, you will get it like, I get it like 9 out of 10 times, but when you don't get it, you can lose like 5 to 10 seconds just by trying to get it, because it's like really, really rough to get to do a retry that's fast. If you fail it, like you can lose so much time to failing it. It's really, really not fun to fail that part.
Dinner time.
Okay.
Untitled
Ashley's a character I really, really like how she has developed throughout the WarioWare franchise history. He started off like being... I'm not sure if evil is the right term. I wouldn't call her evil, but like super much of a loner. But she has like started to, throughout the franchises, she's like started to warm up to being around the other WarioWare characters a lot more.
Leave the candy.
And she's like currently like on super friendly terms with everyone. That's like lovely. I really, really like that. I really, really like how the characters in this game is evolving throughout the franchise. There's like super slight and super subtle things, but like it's there. There's like some character growth. Except for Wario, but Wario can't have character growth because that would ruin the entire premise of this game, because like every single thing in this game is like about Wario being greedy and doing something stupid. And that's being like the reason for the plot.
So would you say that the entire plot is basically about all the characters growing up?
Yeah, kinda, I would say so, generally speaking. Except for Wario, because Wario is always like super greedy, as I said. Like the plot of every single game is basically Wario being greedy. Like, or doing something silly. Like every single plot point in this game can be, or this franchise can basically be tracked back to that. Tracked back to Wario doing something weird.
Well, Wario might not be growing, but you know what is growing?
Nope, tell me.
The donation counter.
Ooh, that's lovely to hear.
We have a minute?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we did get a $20 donation from Code Gorilla. And they say, hey, let's bring this Hello Kitty Roller Rescue Bid War to something close, shall we? Now's your chance to push it either way, chat. And yeah, that did go towards the trailing option in the Hello Kitty Roller Rescue Bid War. So that is now tied up. Denim and Swimsuit both sitting at $20. It is your choice, chat.
Okay, now we're coming to one of the more fun boss scores, in my opinion, and that is
Juice.
this one. What's really makes this one fun for me is that it's like a lot of calculation going on in this one. We have to really like do some preparations and such to make this go as quickly as possible. Lovely. This is what we want to see. Having some really good grapes here. This course can be either really good or really bad, depending on where the... You know, before the final yar, you saw that there was like a two 1 yars coming up before the final yar. If those go to the left, any one of those, the course can be really scary, because we want to try to avoid filling up the left yard too much, because it's really rough to make use of that for most of the things. It's gonna be more relevant on another course coming up later, but it's really good to not fill up a yard, because then we can have like all focus on the middle yard, because the middle yard is like where the most stuff is gonna come, and the final one is always gonna be in the middle yard there. So to keep a full middle yard is what we want, because then we can just like instantly when the final one comes up, win. What we want to avoid in that map game, in that boss fight, is that we don't want to have to wait for grapes to be able to fill the yards. If that happens, we are instantly losing plenty of time. Come on. There we go, lovely. So here we go, 18 volt, and Young Cricket and Wario. The same crew as always. As I said earlier, if anyone has popped in here, we don't pick these characters because they are the best characters, we pick them because they are the fastest to pick. Because in this game, the only thing we lose time to are frame rule losses, but most characters can get most frame rules. And the 3 characters we pick can get all of the frame rules. So we are picking characters entirely because of what reduces the time we do menuing, because that is significant. Like, let's say we gain like 0.5 seconds for each menu. That is still like, I think we do like 11 of those this round. So that's like 5 seconds we save just by picking those 3 characters, just because of that. It's a huge time save. There we go.
Jump through.
Beautiful. So this one is feeling a little mixed. It's a culture one. This is like one of the courses I find that I'm not sure how to put it.
Build it.
There you go, get the first frame win there. Normally try to lose that one, but I don't want to. I'm sure how to put it. Like this course there is a lot of RNG here because there are a lot of courses which are long frame rules. But there is very little we can do on the boss course to save time. Because, well, you'll see what the boss course is gonna be when we get there. It is... Yeah, this is probably the split where we have the least control over how well we're doing on. Just in general.
Push it out.
Because there's very little we can do to save time here.
Match mass.
We just have to hope that the game is giving us good micro games and gives us good RNG on the boss course, because the boss course here has some RNG to it. But more about that when we get there.
Extinguish.
That one is impossible to get first frame rule on, by the way. I'm not sure why. I have tried to die as quickly as possible there, but I still can't get the first frame rule. I am not sure why that happens and why that's the case, but it just is the case.
Excavate 1.
It just is the case that is the case. Like, it's like one of those things that just are. Basically the game is going on, and this one is a little bit same. It is possible to get second frame rule here with 18 volts, but it's like really hard to pull off.
Find the light.
I should add that, but it's normal. So like for our actual intended purposes, that is a forced third frame rule, but it's technically possible to get it. I think across the boss course. This is gonna be a long boss course. This is like the by far longest boss course in this game, I think, and there's really not much to do here. That's what we are gonna do. Well, you saw what we're gonna do here. We're gonna raise the bridge and lower the bridge so the car can pass through. So if we have any more plugs, this is a lovely 2 minutes of not much happening.
2 minutes, you're spoiling me. Unfortunately, the chat isn't spoiling me too much because we are still tight for a bit more. No additional donations coming in yet, but hey, I can talk about where your money is going. Your money is going towards the Safety Music Foundation, and they know that research has consistently demonstrated that the study of music and exposure to music education has a profound impact on children's development. So they have made, they partner with school districts and, donate, instruments, musical technology, and support services. And through that, they help, young children develop a new musical talent, and if that's not an amazing charity for you to donate towards, then you can go to safetymusic.org to learn more about them, or you can go to donate.midwestspeedfest.com, almost said .org, to donate through our event to them and keep raising that donation counter. So we're sitting at $1,846, and we're getting closer to that, 2,000 goal I started, talking about at the start of my hosting shift. I think we can reach that by the end. Maybe even by the end of my shift if y'all are that generous during Linkermeister's upcoming run.
Okay.
Or during this run. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Somebody can just drop 150 if you want.
Yeah, that can absolutely happen. So
Not that I encourage spending money you don't have, but
yeah.
if you can.
Yeah, never spend money you don't have. So now we
able to.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Discord has a delay, so.
Yeah, I know. So now we're coming to Remix 2, which is the second Super RNG split of this run. And this time we're gonna do a remix of all the cores we have seen in the second overworld. And just as last time, we can get really good luck and not get anything. Well, we did get stuff then, not that we didn't get bad stuff. Like, we can either get really good stuff or we can get really, really bad stuff. But this time though, the boss course is actually relevant because this boss course is one where we can actually save quite a bit of time by playing perfectly. Beautiful, beautiful. So now we're gonna play as 5V. 5V is... When this game released, like, people talked about that 5V was like the most broken character in any video game ever. But as I started to play this game, like, I was like, she's actually not that broken. I think a lot of people like start to agree with that more and more. But there are some micro games he just heats. He just heats some micro games. Because he's like in his ghost shape, which can't be touched by anything. But sometimes he's like a little rough on some courses because of that. Some levels are really, really hard with 5V because he is really, really slow to move once she has done her move. And she cannot spam attacks that quickly. Instead, her attacks like really strong, but some cores are like really, really rough as 5V because of that.
In flight.
Beautiful.
Flip.
And a lot of courses also need a different way of thinking when you play as 5V, which makes it really, really fun. He's probably my second favorite character to play as, except for Ashley. You can show here how it works. Oh, guys, we really get second. Did we get first frame move there? I didn't know that was possible. I was gonna show after we couldn't get first frame move by dying. So you can actually get first frame move there by winning. Well, that is rough because that's like a 1 in 3 chance you can actually win early. But that's huge. That's a huge discovery. That has never happened before. This is the obligatory "this has never happened before" moments that every single speedrunning marathon has to have.
Mark off your bingo card.
Yeah, indeed. It's a good thing it was a good thing that happened though. But yeah, I was gonna talk about how even if you lose there as quickly as possible, you won't get the first frame rule, which you don't. You are getting second frame rule if you lose automatically. I'm not sure why that is the case, but you just do. I think it is to discourage people from like dying on that course and skipping it. It's like one of the courses where she's a little cheaty because you can just follow it with herself and pop it right when it pops. And now we're going to the boss course. This boss course is a little rough. I talked about before when we did this one before because this is gonna be a replay. We want to fill the right and center cup, especially in this one. Preferably we won't have a single grape in the leftmost one, but sometimes we have to.
Don't spill.
That was good. That was a really, really good course. But the other reason why we don't want to fill the leftmost cup there is because we are never ever gonna use the leftmost cup in this course. Because everything is moving and it's moving from left to right most of the time, so we are not gonna have to do that. We are either gonna use the left or right cup. That way we are not wasting any grapes. By any grapes, they can like try to win as quickly as possible. It was a really, really good course though. We had really good RNG on that course. I am feeling pretty good about this run. If we didn't die on Jimmy T's course, I think we would actually be really, really close to getting a really, really good run here. So that got the final course. And on this course, it does actually matter which characters we pick. Oh, come on, game. Let me scroll. So in this course we gotta pick characters like this. That might seem a little random, but it's not. It is. We are picking 5 characters who are good at the boss course here, because this course there is no character which we will have to play on the boss course. So we can have any of the 5 characters we pick. So what we don't want to happen is to have characters we don't want on the boss course, because that can lose a lot of time. If we get like the character we always want is Young Cricket, because Young Cricket is fastest and most consistent. That's what we want, but it's not sure we get it. So now come to the final boss here. The super bug. We gotta fight off a big game bug here. It is quite interesting. Second frame rule, that's not good. There are some cores here which are really hard to get first frame rules on because of long victory animations.
Find the nose.
Beautiful. And this course is actually gonna be fighting back. So we not only have to worry about dying in the micro games here, we actually have to worry about dying in the actual courses. Or in the actual level as well, because sometimes this course fights back. It's gonna fight back 3 times throughout the run. Or throughout the thing. Come on, up with you, credit card. Okay, it's not too bad. There is only one micro game here we might want to lose on, but that's only if we get 30 characters we want to lose on that one on purpose. But there's one more we want to lose on purpose, which we always want to lose on purpose because it saves time. There we go.
Untie.
Beautiful.
Get inside.
Beautiful, beautiful. And soon the course is gonna fight back again.
Defeat.
There we go, lovely. There are 2 ways it can do it. First by eating down and then by that. On the third one, it's not scripted before it does, but we wanted to spawn enemies because that's way faster to beat than waiting for the hand to drop.
Evade.
Okay, this one we wanna lose because otherwise we have to wait. So that's really good. It's good we have some health here. I don't think we are in trouble though, because this is... The micro games here are relatively easy. What's hard here is to dodge the hand. That's only where we get up in speed and up in difficult level and the hand gets bigger. But here it's like really hard to lose anything not on purpose. Lovely.
Defeat.
Good, another defeat. That's what we wanna see. What we wanna see here is that we get Young Cricket for the boss fight now. If we do that, we can get a really good time.
Select.
Okay. We missed the car.
Straighten up.
Okay, we're not getting Young Cricket on the boss course sadly, because next boss course we can't get the same character twice in a row. Okay, we got Ashley for the boss course. Ashley is slow, so we're not gonna get an amazing time here, but Ashley is safe, so she's pretty good for a marathon, I would say. And now we are gonna go to the source of the bad video games and get rid of the game bugs. I go to the place where all of the bad video games are made. There it is.
Dodge.
The origin of all bad video games.
Capture.
So here we go. Now we're gonna capture this. We have to wait there because otherwise it can drop in the middle and then it's really hard to pick that one up. The run's not over yet though. The run's gonna be over when we fly into the nose of the boss. You'll see what I talk about when we get there.
Good.
That's when time happens. You gotta see it now. There's gonna pop up a big nose here, and once we are entering this nose, it's gonna be time. I gotta say time is time here, and plug and time. There we go. That was the run. Now we're gonna watch.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, it was time.
That is massively underestimated.
Yeah, what did I get?
Still waiting on stream delay.
What time did I get?
Still waiting on stream delay. 1:02:39. So that's
that's
over 7 minutes below estimate.
That's a really good marathon run. I have a really high estimate for this game because it's like really RNG heavy. And the RNG was really good. And we didn't mess up too much. But that's a really, really good time. So now we're gonna see a little bit of the plot of the story as well. We're gonna see a little explanation of what happened here, if we have time.
Let me check that. But until you hear back, feel free to keep on going.
Yeah. Then we have the most lovely being in the universe.
What?
The supreme developer.
Just being informed that we do have time, so keep on going.
Okay, we'll watch this. We're gonna get some explanation of what happened here. This is quite an important cutscene to watch to understand the story. I said before, like, the thing that happened was that there came some nasty game bugs. But now we're gonna learn where they come from.
Where did all those bugs come from?
And
Well.
to the surprise of no one,
Get back here!
Unbelievable.
Bad Wario!
Look.
so here's also a little introduction for the post-story, post-game story, which is not part of the 90% run. So yeah, that was where we're getting together. I hope you all enjoyed this run, and that you maybe might be looking to run this game yourselves. This is a really, really fun game to run. It's very, very RNG heavy, but the parts of this run that are execution heavy are like really, really fun to perform. So yeah, thanks for having me. It was lovely to be here.
It was a lovely, lovely run. Thank you for showing us.
Thank you all, and have a great rest of the marathon.
Yep, we'll be right back with, obviously, another run. We've got Link and Meister with Hello Kitty Walorowski on deck here, so folks, don't go anywhere. We'll go on intermission just for a little bit to set that up, and thank you so much to firesplitter for showing us WarioWare.